Hello, dear friends. I am somebody who I want to talk some more about that today. I definitely exposed that a little bit a few days ago. You can go and watch that video if you haven't yet. But as I'm working with that and really beginning to embodying it in a way that I haven't been able to before, maybe you have, maybe everybody else has. But there's definitely something that's deeply shifting when I use this phrase, I am somebody who. And first, I need to find out if I look at my life here, this is my current life. And who is this Pernilla? Who is this Pernilla as someone who? And from that point, I can see that the whole identity that is called Pernilla is, of course, based on all my past experiences accumulated as this yarn ball filled with all these beliefs, mostly limitations. And then that has been presenting itself as Pernilla, who is somebody who, and based on what I look at from who I have been, who I identify myself as today, it would be something like I am somebody who will never change, who is not able to yada, yada, yada. I did share some of that with you about the main two beliefs we have is I can't or I'm not able to, or I'm not worthy. I don't deserve it. That, the way I see it, is the two that are really coloring when our divine expression comes through. It's like it has to go through that layer first. And so we need to really see that and what we have been creating as an identity, mostly based on these two, but there's many more. So, if you live from a different culture, live in a different place than me, have a totally different life experience, you may have some other core ones. And these these are so felt as our true identity that we don't even know it. It's one of these like, well, this is who I am. This is how it is. These are, of course, the core beliefs, the core identities, and we don't really question them unless we do this kind of deeper work. So once we can identify what we put behind, I am somebody who. And I really want to encourage you to take this to heart because you are going to uncover all the reasons why you still are the way you are and not the way you want to be. Because let's say there is a longing, like I want to be whatever, what should we say? I want to be successful in whatever area of life. And then we work that, we visualize, we feel, we do whatever work we are moved to do. We listen to the teachers who teach about manifestation. I'm not one of them, but it is also not separate from what I share. Um, so then we try to create this, what we want to experience, but it has to go through this layer of I am somebody who will never succeed. And here we are working on I'm succeeding and I'm feeling it and I'm envisioning it. But underneath, there is this core feeling, this core identity that will always pull us back as the first truth, as our real truth or reality. And that is why nothing changes, because we have not been able to really see what that is. There are, of course, times where we need to work on that, right? If it's too dense, if it's too real, that we can't even hear what I'm talking about right now, right? Creating a new future self. That's one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's ways of saying it. There's so many who say it too, but I think he was one of the first where you start connecting with your future self. I always love that. And but again, we try to do that while we are still fully identified with our past self, which is experienced in as our current self. It's almost like our past self and our present self are the same, because we have not been able to take our current self and create a gap between the past and the present. So we really, really need to see that, and not just see it. When you feel that, that's where the magic happens. Because in order to become your future self, if you can't actually feel yourself as someone who, right, in the future, um, you're just going to default automatically back to I am somebody who, and then all the limiting ways you experience yourself, because that one you feel, man, you feel it 24/7. We walk around as somebody who, and then all the limitations, it feels familiar. We are convinced of it. We are 100% sure that it's true because we feel it. We feel it so deeply. And it can be hard to get out of that in one in one swoop. That's going to take some work. And that's why it can be important to do some of the deeper work, some of the things I offered with self-love, with learning to be present with this identity, but in a way so that the attachment and the identity to it softens, so that there's more space where we can now feel it, but we can also see what we're doing. When we're completely identified, we don't have that gap that is needed to really see and experience what it is that we're doing. And we do it literally 24/7. It's unbelievable. I'm just seeing it so, so clearly. And it's wow. How did I not see it so clearly before? Well, there might be many reasons. I do believe that we are really stepping into the new earth. And I've been doing a lot of practice to live in and as the new earth, which I've talked a lot about. So maybe that, constantly moving into that experience of the new earth, which is very different than the old earth, the old paradigm. So the more we practice it, then you will also realize it becomes more natural and more accessible. So I would say before we start moving into the future self, if we have not fully realized and felt who it is, I am somebody who doesn't believe things can change. I believe I'm somebody who will never have enough, who will always be struggling. This is so core, my friends, and we need to become aware of it and feel it without attachment, without resisting, without judging, so that we can start separating from it. And then when you really can feel what it's like consciously to be that somebody who, blah, 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 then that will also help you to start feeling I am somebody who is capable, is able, is worthy, is surrounded by love, by abundance, whatever. I am somebody who, that feeling that we are so familiar with here, that feeling needs to be felt over here for that to become our next reality in this dimension. We're still talking about identities. So if you don't want to create a new identity, for instance, as you know, I'm somebody who's successful, which is fine if you want to do it, fine if you don't want to do it, because it's your journey, right? We have to follow our own journey. But maybe you want to be more somebody who, and this is also a very big part of my own journey, is like, I am somebody who is fully aligned with the divine and all my needs come to me with ease, for instance, right? Then I'm not out there grasping. I'm just like, I am somebody who has fully landed in the divine flow where all my needs are met. And then start walking and sitting and being that, but it has to be felt. I want to make sure that you understand that this is not some kind of an affirmation. That's not it. It has to be your whole identity, your I am presence that experiences that as your reality. So we have to practice first feeling how we are stuck in I am somebody who, and you will know what that is because you just look around in your life and everything you experience is based on that feeling that we're going to make conscious now that says I am somebody who, and then you just like, okay, who's lonely, who doesn't have enough, who yada yada yada. This is your current identity. And I know you're tired of it. We're all tired of these identities that are limited and unfulfilled. But we have to really see how that is a felt sense, experience, and identity. And that is why your life is just reflecting that back to you. In the same way, when you want to start creating a future self, that in this exactly the same way, that has to be felt as I am somebody who receives with ease, um, meets people effortlessly, whatever, I'm just saying some things, whatever it is, that has to be felt. And when you feel that, I guarantee you, your heart will go, ooh, it will feel good. You might have a big smile on your face because now you are that somebody who is that. And you are embodying it, you are feeling it, you are allowing yourself to feel this in the same way you feel this. And now you can start choosing. And I will also tell you that the old one will pull us back. When I'm not consciously in this one, I can feel the pull of the old. I might just go into some kind of a gray, just nothingness. But underneath, I can feel that old identity, which is still here. It's not gone. But now I'm in the process of becoming somebody who, and I will become that because I am feeling that I am somebody who. So that is becoming my new reality, my new identity, my new joy. It feels wonderful. And the way I see it now is how important it is that We really feel it as our I am identity, because our I am is who we are. There's nothing else here, but it's up to us what we fill it with. And over here we have been filling it with a lot of limitations, and it has felt like so real and so true. So now we are going to make this one feel as real and as true by making it a very conscious practice to walk around saying to yourself and feeling it, I am somebody who is able to change, attracts wonderful situations into my life. You find out what it is that you really want. What is it that you long for? But again, don't do it as a mental thing. Don't make it one of these I am statements as or positive affirmations. Feel I am that. And it also reminds me, I have a meditation that really helps you to ground in I am, really as a felt sense versus I am Pernilla. It is more like I am presence. I am the field. It's just as tangible as I am Pernilla. So by making that shift, then you start feeling I am much more consciously. And that is where we need to experience our future self. There is no future, but it's an experience that we will have in the future when we start becoming it more and more conscious. I will put the video for that I am meditation here. I think it might be helpful actually if you listen to that also, because it will help you just ground in I am and then start realizing that whatever we add to that, we don't have to add anything to it, but we do. We have added a lot of limitations to it over here, right? Maybe we can add some expansions, some truth about that we are the divine. So that's something that each individually decides, what is the future self that you want to become or experience yourself as. But this is just kind of an expansion and an expansion on I am somebody who, so you can really understand the shift, and we need to get out of this one where the I am is covered in all this limitation, and the feeling of that is so real. But the feeling here will be just as real when we really start practicing that and make that our new identity or reality. I shouldn't say identity. The identity is, of course, what is before whatever we put behind it. But we don't need to keep putting our past experiences on top of I am. We can start letting them go and become what is much more connected or resonant with who we are. And it feels a lot better too. So please give that a try. And please, my friends, comment below. Let me know how this works for you. I'm actually considering that I might create some kind of a workshop where we can really practice this so we can start moving into the new earth from within as I am. So let me know if there's resonance here, if you have questions, if you want to share something. Of course, I would love to hear from you. And also, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Have a blessed day.